You want me to let him pass as well? Hamilton's voice sliced through the Spanish airwaves like a scalpel, sharp, deliberate, and deeply revealing. From the moment he stepped into Ferrari and left behind Peter Bonington, his trusted voice at Mercedes, Lewis wasn't just adapting, he was walking into a political minefield. Riccardo Adami, Leclerc's long-trusted engineer, wasn't chosen randomly, and their chemistry, volatile at best, Miami exposed cracks, sarcasm oozed through the radio. Have a tea break while you're at it. Monaco was worse. Hamilton asked, "Are you upset with me or something?" No reply. That wasn't a glitch. It was a coded message. Each race since has layered more tension. Ferrari's dream of harmony, breaking apart. The media says, no problem. But the real story lies not in press releases, but in the radio static. What we're witnessing isn't miscommunication, it's the beginning of a power shift. And Lewis, he's not confused. He's calculating it. He knows exactly what's happening and exactly when to strike. Because in Formula One, silence isn't absence. It's intent, and Hamilton has heard enough. In Formula One, the radio isn't just a tool, it's a mirror of trust. When Riccardo Adami hesitates, Lewis hears more than delay. He hears instability. Miami made it clear Hamilton was faster, but the team delayed orders to move Leclerc aside. Monaco exposed a deeper fracture. Hamilton asked Adami, "Are you upset with me?" and was met with silence. Then came Spain. A gear issue appeared, disappeared, and Adami insisted on boxing. Hamilton refused, not because of arrogance, because he no longer trusts the voice on the other end. That's not miscommunication. That's a collapse in confidence. When a 7-time world champion stops believing in the man guiding him, the team doesn't function. It fractures. Ferrari may pretend this is normal, but it's not. These aren't isolated moments, they're signals. Hamilton's refusal wasn't just about gears, it was about control. And with every denied call, every sarcastic reply, he's carving out his own command center. The question is no longer if trust is broken, it's how long before the fallout explodes. Lewis Hamilton says everything's fine. There's no problem whatsoever, he tells the media. But behind that polished PR smile is a truth only the paddock insiders see. This isn't harmony, it's containment. Hamilton praises Adami publicly, but that praise came after a radio exchange that screamed dysfunction. "We don't always get it right," he says, and that's the tell. Because Lewis doesn't speak in vague cliches unless he's covering fire. He's managing optics, not sharing reality. Juan Pablo Montoya saw through it instantly. He didn't mince words. "If it were me, I'd have pulled Adami's ears." Why? Because silence on the radio isn't just unprofessional, it's a power move, and Hamilton knows it. Ferrari is a team built on legacy and internal politics. Lewis is a new king in an old kingdom. To survive, he must control the narrative. Public praise becomes a smokescreen, a way to buy time while cracks deepen. This isn't partnership, it's a cold war masked by compliments, and one side is already losing patience. When Juan Pablo Montoya speaks, it's never by accident. And this time, he didn't whisper, he detonated. Lewis needs to get angry and demand a new engineer. Why? Because in his eyes, the issue isn't technical, it's territorial. At Ferrari, Leclerc is the anointed one. Sainz was the silent soldier. Hamilton? He's the outsider, the legacy, the disruptor. And Montoya knows the game. In Maranello, respect isn't granted by resume, it's enforced by dominance. A delayed call, a silent radio, a flat response, they're not isolated. They are symptoms of a deeper rejection. Montoya saw it and said what many won't. Adami should be in an office, not on the pit wall. In Formula One, your engineer is your lifeline. When that lifeline starts fraying, it's a matter of time before the system snaps. If Hamilton doesn't assert control now, he risks being cornered by a structure that still sees him as temporary. And Lewis, he wasn't built to fit in. He was built to take over, and someone's about to feel that firsthand. When Hamilton asked, "Are you upset with me?" he wasn't looking for reassurance, he was lighting a fuse. He knew the world would hear it. He knew silence would say more than words. That moment wasn't emotional, it was calculated. Lewis turned the radio into a weapon, not against his engineer, against the system. In that pause, Adami revealed more than he intended, and Hamilton, he exposed the fracture. This wasn't a plea, it was a warning. A reminder that, despite the calm exterior, Lewis is watching, testing, recording. While the media repeats his smiles, the radio tells the real story. These aren't mistakes, they're signals. Signals of a driver isolating the weak links in the chain. Because when Hamilton wants change, he doesn't demand it. He orchestrates it, slowly, publicly, relentlessly. This was the moment he showed Ferrari the price of ignoring him. And it wasn't loud, it was silent. Because in F1, silence isn't the absence of conflict, it's the confirmation of it. Spain, late in the race, Hamilton reports a gear issue. It clears. Adami wants him to box. Lewis refuses. Adami insists. Hamilton pushes back. I can do the start, dude, it's fine. On the surface, a routine disagreement, but underneath, a clash of authority, a driver overriding strategy, an engineer ignored. This isn't about gears, it's about control. In a healthy relationship, the driver trusts the pit wall blindly. Here, Lewis doesn't just question, he defies, and he does it calmly, confidently, publicly. He knows what that sounds like. He knows the cameras are rolling. This is more than instinct, it's a message. I lead now. The downshift was working, he said so, but Adami pressed, and Lewis didn't flinch. Because when a driver trusts himself more than the team, the real issue isn't mechanical, it's political. Ferrari will say it's protocol, but protocol doesn't argue. This was a rejection of authority, a glimpse into a power struggle brewing behind closed doors. And in that moment, Hamilton wasn't just racing, he was reclaiming control. Hamilton doesn't just chase lap times, he demands loyalty. And right now, Riccardo Adami is failing that test. In Mercedes, Peter Bonington wasn't just a voice, he was a shield, a strategist, a silent enforcer. At Ferrari, Adami feels like a placeholder, not because he lacks knowledge, but because he lacks alignment. Every moment of hesitation, every delay, every unspoken tension, they all scream the same message. This man doesn't fight for me. And Hamilton feels it. He doesn't need yes men, he needs soldiers. Trusted voices who understand the mission without explanation. Right now, Lewis is trying to build an empire inside enemy territory. He's walking among old alliances and inherited loyalties. And Adami, he belongs to the past regime. That's dangerous. Ferrari can't afford fractures at this level. A title bid doesn't tolerate indecision. And Hamilton, the man chasing his eighth, won't wait forever. He'll demand change, or he'll make it himself, because if the garage isn't with him, then it's in his way. So why hasn't Hamilton made his move? Why does he still defend Adami publicly? Because Lewis understands something most overlook. Timing is everything. He's not reacting emotionally, he's positioning, watching, waiting, not for improvement, but for the moment everyone else sees what he already knows. Each radio glitch, each awkward pause adds fuel. When the match strikes, it won't be random. It'll be planned. He'll pull the trigger when the fallout hits Ferrari, not him. Montoya warned, Lewis must create pressure, force respect. That moment is coming. When Hamilton acts, it won't be loud, it'll be final. An engineer will fall, a message will be sent, the balance of power will shift. The silence after Monaco wasn't just an error, it was the rehearsal. Hamilton isn't adapting, he's infiltrating. And when the explosion comes, it won't just clear out the pit wall. It will redraw Ferrari's internal hierarchy. Because this isn't about engineering anymore, it's about ownership of the future. So let's stop pretending this is just about radio glitches or miscommunication. Hamilton's smile, it's strategic, his praise for Adami, a calculated deflection. What we're seeing isn't growing pains, it's a silent rebellion. Lewis didn't come to Ferrari to adjust, he came to reclaim a legacy, to build something that outlives the number on his car. But to do that, he needs more than horsepower. He needs warriors beside him, not bureaucrats behind the pit wall. And Adami, right now, he's not holding the line, he's slowing the charge. So the question isn't whether Hamilton will ask for change. The real question is, how far will Ferrari let this fracture go before it breaks something vital? Because Lewis knows. We know. The paddock knows. Something has to give. And when it does, the echo won't stop in Maranello. It will shake the sport to its core. If you believe the real battles are fought off camera, you're watching the right war.